Welcome to this episode of Lead the Machine podcast, where today's leaders and tomorrow's talk about the human side of AI at work. I'm your host, Kirsten Marr, and today we are honored to have Laston Charriez with join us. Laston is a seasoned senior marketing executive with more than 25 years leading Procter & Gamble globally in North America and in Latin America. He has also led businesses for Sara Lee, Western Union, and Denver Mattress. Laston is a well-established thought leader for big brand efforts. He actually created the Charmin Bear campaign, which is the longest lasting and still currently airing P&G Procter & Gamble campaign. The Charmin business doubled under his tenure from 1 billion to 2 billion. All that's really cool. And what's particularly important and why I'm excited for this conversation with Laston is the topic of purpose, the why of what we do, how we spend our time, and what we leave for the next generations. Laston's new role as assistant professor and industry liaison at Colorado State University for its highly innovative agriculture program, SPUR, is an inspiration. In this chapter of Laston's career, he's seeking a more sustainable food future, for all of us, and calling on the food industry to be better, to make healthier food that can feed a rising population globally. So Laston, can you tell our audience a bit about SPUR at Colorado State University, why you were compelled to join this effort, and how you are challenging the agriculture and CPG industries to change their ways?
Sure. Thank you, Christine, again for having me. It's a privilege to be here. Lead the Machine is a very, very exciting topic because we're going to be surrounded by machines that are thinking, and we need to lead those machines. And
Mhm.
that's the thought process that we need to take. And I think that's what brought me into CSU, Colorado State University at Spur campus. We, Dr. Graff, Dr. Perry, and I, the three of us, came together with the vision that we needed to feed 10 billion people by 2050. And based on their calculation, because they're the PhDs, they are the ones that do all the math and agricultural economics. And the combination of yields, soil, and water um, in the increased number of 2 billion people from now to 2050, we're going to go to war if we don't have ag and food innovation. So that was the compelling call to action. It's like, ooh, we need ag and food innovation to feed the world by 2050. And the great thing is this Colorado State University campus at Spur has one building called Hydro, which is water, one building called Terra, which is land, of course, and it's about agriculture, and we one building called Vita, which is about animal life sciences. If you combine them together, everything we do there, everything that has been doing there is with the vision to be able to feed 10 billion people. Makes sense? It's just
Mhm.
this is a percolating place. This is a place where rubbing with the right industry partners, in idea providers, PhDs from CSU, from anywhere, combining it with industry, we aim to do ag and food innovation to feed 10 billion people. And we have to look at it from the whole thing. And that's what Dr. Graff, Dr. Perry, and I created the value chain of agriculture and food. So we can immerse students on, well, who makes their food, number one, and what does it take? So we know that if you do something in one part of the supply chain, you actually can damage the other, or vice versa. And how to overcome food safety, food waste, and food quality. Those are the three things that underpin our AFIN program, which is the Ag and Food Innovation Management Master's Program that we lead. So with that is why I joined this team, is to because I am compelled to pay it forward. That my kids, and hopefully if they ever have kids, my grandkids have food available by 2050. So that's what drove me. That's what's in it for me. But at the same time, And as you mentioned, I had the privilege of working at Procter and Gamble, and I led the food division for the Caribbean and Puerto Rico. I launched Pringles in Puerto Rico and the Caribbean. I had Dunkin' Hines, I had Sunny Delight, and I used Sunny Delight and Orange Crush to create an amazing pact or working innovation with Coca-Cola. So when I move our bottling of Orange Crush and Sunny Delight into Coca-Cola from the 7-Up bottling company in exchange for them to help me launch Pringles. And guess what? Because Pepsi owned, Frito-Lay. So at that moment, it was a great partnership, and they enabled Pringles to quickly become the number two, salty snack in the island because Coca-Cola is so powerful and it got everywhere. So I saw the ability of uniting that would create distribution that would immediately pay off and great sales. So that's what I'm all about. It's 2 + 2 = 5. And that's what we did. And then all of a sudden the company says, nope, we're gonna sell the food division. And I'm like, what are you talking about? We make so much money. It's so important. Our Hawaiian Punch business was the most developed per capita in the world. Our Sunny Delight business was the most developed in the world. We had just launched Pringles and we were rocking. And I went to Cincinnati and like this young person saying, what are you doing? And the bottom line was the CEO said, we have a vision in our statement, which is we improve lives of our consumers. If you look at what Pringles and Sunny Delight and Hawaiian Punch do, is not necessarily improving the lives, it's actually impoverishing the life. It is making their lives worse because of the long-term effects of this. And I'm like, okay,
It's not healthy food environment.
no, 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 no. We're making it's obesity, diabetes, and stroke. That's what we're driving if we keep feeding our best customers and we giving them, they drink and eat more of our products. So that day I came back from Cincinnati. I was like, yep, okay, that's cool. But I went on to, after P&G, and I was a Charmin, and you mentioned that I helped launch the Charmin campaign, which is a lot of fun. But this is not about toilet tissue. Then I went on to Sara Lee after P&G, and I became the vice president of insights and innovation. And my motto was create insights to launch new to the world products. And the sad part of that was the 60% of our projects were cost saving projects.
Mm.
We needed to be able to compete at the Walmarts of the world and Sara Lee, and we could not raise prices by a penny because you could get delisted by the big retailers. So having so much of the innovation being in just cost savings took away your ability to launch new to the world products. But we did. We did Jim Beam Delights. We did a bunch of other products. But the bottom line is most of the innovation wasn't it to make it better, was it to make it cheaper?
Which
So I
doesn't
saw,
make it healthier, does it?
now I want to make it healthier,
No.
but I saw that and I'm like, what's going on? Does this make sense? Uh, and then I saw the light because when I moved to Western Union, I had to go to stores all over, the US and Mexico and the Caribbean and South America. And Coca-Cola struck me as a very interesting example. As you know, sugar cane is the sugar that we use and Coca-Cola uses, well, not we, the Coca-Cola uses in Mexico. And we import a lot of bottles that you end up paying a lot more money than the regular Coke from here. And a lot of people drink it because they think they taste better or it's healthier for them, whatever. So I think I believe Coca-Cola knows how to make, products that are less bad. How about that? They don't have to be perfect. They don't, it's not gonna work because it's a combination of taste, right? It has to taste good, otherwise there's no compliance, and also cost. So all of that has to be involved into launching new innovation. So I believe that if we know how to make better a little better Coke, should we do it? I don't know. We can ask, is high fructose corn syrup a good, way to lower your costs? Probably. But is that a good way to improve the lives of your consumers? I don't know. I don't think so. So I'm not a scientist. I can't claim that. But what I know is that we know as food scientists and the CPG industries, there are things we can do to improve the lives of consumers and don't raise the prices too much because that's a problem, right? You can't just go too high as you've seen with all the inflation.
Mhm.
But in the last 4 years, there's been a lot of inflation in food, from eggs to whatever. We instead of when the raw materials like corn or all the or soy, when the raw materials start going down in price, couldn't we take a little bit of that and improve the formulations so we don't uh, put the health of our best consumers at risk? That's part of what we're talking about, and that's how where food innovation comes in because
Well, yeah,
go
and there's
ahead.
there's clearly cost benefit to then what happens in healthcare if people
Definitely.
are sick, right? So you're just paying it in different ways. So definitely listening to what you're saying, there are clearly hard truths that CPG and agriculture need to face. I know that you've said, not dissimilar to what the tobacco industry has had to face, right? What do you want to see out of these industries in the next 3 to 5 years?
Well, I see that they do proactive ways to improve the outcomes for our shoppers and consumers.
Mhm.
Proactive, meaning that instead of 60% of their R&D projects being all about cost savings, can we flip it and put more balance into making it better for them that the consumer lasts longer? Because if they last longer, they'll consume more product, right? Instead of getting them, there's a different point between lifespan, and we have improved the lifespan of the U.S. consumers and the globe. Don't get me wrong, we went from 1949, from 53 years old of lifespan in the globe to 70 something now, which is a miracle. And that was led by American innovation, by American agriculture innovation, by GMOs. We did that. Kudos. But
Mhm.
then that's not gonna continue unless we do ag and food innovation. What I'm saying is, do we have an opportunity to improve the health span? Think about it. How you can have a long lifespan, but if your health is not good in the last 12 years
What's
or
the
20
point?
years, what's the point? And we, as a consumer packaged goods industry and an ag conglomerate, we can help and do that. That's what I believe.
Yeah, if you just take those two, food span, health span, I mean, right now we're dealing with the unsustainable cost of healthcare as people age. Well, what if in Western, thinking, we're not always good about looking at what we consume and ingest and the direct effect that it has on our health. And so I think this is important for the economy in addition to the ag and CPG industries. It
Yeah.
actually has huge economic impact, and it has impact on people's personal lives. If they don't need as much health care, then it doesn't cost as much, then we don't get into all these, how do we going to pay for health care for everyone with an aging population? I mean, there's ripple effects here that are really meaningful and important to address. It's not like you can just, you know, put your head in the sand and ignore this. So I just applaud that, you've looked and reflected on your whole career and said, you know what? I know a lot about these industries and I can help write a new chapter. So, I mean, we have to be willing to challenge ourselves, our peers, our colleagues, and do better.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's what we try to do with these students because it's not gonna be us, Christine and I. We're not the ones that are gonna change this. They're gonna be the younger generation.
Mm,
Gen Zs, that tend to be our first, our cohort of students. They want to change. They just don't know how to.
mhm,
And our mission at the AFIN program and Agriculture and Food Innovation Masters program is exactly that, is to create templates for them to be, entrepreneurs and challenge and challenge and challenge and ask the why or why not.
mm,
Why are we using high fructose corn syrup? Why not use this?
mhm.
Or do we even need sugar in this product? Or do we even need, fillers in this product? The point is, there are ways to match great products that taste great and don't kill you.
Seems like a win, 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 win all
Yes,
around.
there
So,
are ways. That's what I feel. But
yeah.
again, it's not an easy, this is not easy. Otherwise, anyone would have done it.
So, something you helped explain, which helps my understanding, is that fixing agriculture and making it more sustainable, to your point, is not easy. And it actually requires significant changes to the system and to infrastructure. Can you share what that means and how AI will play a meaningful role?
Well, it means that we have, let's take the soil, fresh water, and yields. We know that the yields in the GMO um, products like soybean, wheat, and corn are will go down as to as replanting and no tilling continue to happen. Can AI predict when that's going to happen? Can AI help us say, hey, stop tilling here, plant something else for this season, so the undergrowth and the quality of the soil gets regenerated and it's gonna be better the next time you plant corn. That is what I think AI can help because we can't have humans taking soil samples of every place.
Yeah.
It's impossible because we're talking some of these farms are humongous and they're managed by 6 to 10 people because automation has helped us to lower the number of people that work in agriculture. That's great. But then you don't have the manpower or the ability to go sample every place. Can we create early warning systems using AI because that's what we want the machine to do to help us predict when is the last frost going to happen, before planting, so we plant efficiently. When is the first frost going to happen? How many plantings can we do? Is it going to be 2 or 3 during the whole season, right? May through September, depending on the country, or on the state, and then really put fertilizer or put water or put you know herbicide where it's needed, not everywhere, because different plants or different they need different things. Can
Mhm.
AI, by looking, satellite looks, by using drones, by using predictive analytics, by putting plotters, when you combine all that data, that's so much data that it's not humanly possible to do unless we have you know, AI helping us to do that. And it's already happening. So the good news is it's happening, but there's so many infrastructure issues that prevent that. Number one is Wi-Fi connectivity. In many agricultural parts or the farms in the US, in Canada as well, in Mexico as well, there's no good infrastructure. So you're gonna have to create some way to use, that information and data can that can move, so
Mhm.
we can be condensed, so we can get insights, so we can say, yay, let's wait until May 16th to start planting. If that is an outcome, you need data. And data, that's what AI is all about. Fast data agglomeration that learns and
Mhm.
keeps learning and keeps learning. So because that's the churn that the machine is going to do, it will be amazing if we have the infrastructure in these farms and many places so we can get the data. How do you harvest the data if you can't get the data?
And that seems to be one of the big challenges in ag. So, everyone's familiar with large language models like ChatGPT and Gemini, and we all use them for a variety of purposes. Um, However, when it comes to executing the innovations that you've just mentioned, farmers need highly localized information and customize models that relate to their specific soil conditions. You said the farms can be large, they don't need as many people, but these are also rural, not easy to reach places, right? I mean, the geography, there's a lot of challenges to the kind of system and infrastructure like you've been mentioning. So what does this mean in terms of limitations for using AI, and how do you see that part, the modeling part and the data part being addressed?
Well, two things, and we need to agglomerate the data. So farmers have to be forward thinking to enough to start collecting, amassing, and even before AI is there, because what's AI going to scrub if there's no data? There are no files. You see what I mean? It's kind of chicken or the egg.
Yeah.
So I have a great farmer or friend of mine. His name is Roy Falsgrave. He runs Falsgrave Farms up in the northeast corner of Colorado. And because he's a CPA, the moment he took over his farm from his dad, he's been amassing data and amassing data. So that's why he's a great clinical study to say if you have the data and you can use even the tools that we have today, you can be better at predicting when to plant, where to stop, and more importantly, what kind of raw materials you're going to put in or not to make sure you increase your yields, and when not to till, and when to do a different plantation, plant something different, and rotate the crops. That's what he's amazing at. So you should go visit him, and I will introduce you. He's an amazing guy that is doing great innovation because he's challenging the paradigms. And we need more like him,
Yeah,
but it starts with the data.
I was
It,
gonna ask you, like in terms of challenging the paradigm. So this is a farmer leaning in,
yeah.
collecting data, next generation. From some of the research I've seen, there's a fairly strong resistance to adoption with maybe some more, let's call it seasoned farmers. What do you see in terms of
Well,
people side
well,
of adoption and the issues there?
it is because it's worked. Don't rock the boat. It's been working for since 1949.
Mhm.
Are you crazy? I'm gonna lose the farm, literally, if you start changing. So we're gonna have to make it easier for them to take a plot of land, start doing the data agglomeration, and do a pilot. But that's not easy. I mean, it's not easy. It's not my money, so it's not
Yeah,
your money. It's their money. It's their farm. They're the ones that are in front of trying to keep the farm, keep the yields coming, and like I said, working with less and less people because they put a lot more capital into the John Deere's
yeah,
combines that run with satellites, and they don't need, I mean, they basically don't need a person in there. And that's why you can automate so much. But that's cost. You have to pay back the loan. So it's hard. How do we make it easier for them to pilot so they can change, let's say 10% of the farm is enabled, data enabled to 20 to 30 to 40 to 50 until they come to say, we're going to do the
I
whole
need
thing.
it. Yeah, I see the
So
benefit.
that is the challenge.
Yeah. It does seem like a really big challenge. And listen, adoption issues are pervasive across all industries. It doesn't matter if you're a tech skilled worker or a skilled worker in farming or whatever. You see the resistance um, to adopting this advanced data analytics, leading to AI, everywhere. And it's definitely something incumbent upon all of us to your point, make it easier, make it clearer, make it less like a scary like black box that you don't understand. I mean, all those things are very important. The transparency is very important, and something really key that you said, realize you're gambling with people's futures, and like they're probably for a lot of them everything is wrapped up financially in their farm. So they're the one taking, the big risk in terms of their livelihood and whatnot. So recognizing that and finding common ground and maybe letting them know, well, you can stay doing what you're doing, but status quo has its own risks. I mean, that's something I know I've done in my career in resistance to predictive analytics, data science, and all the rest is, well, let's look at status quo. And if you think status quo is safe, maybe we can rethink that. And let's talk about what happens if you don't change.
And
You know?
that process is what I call future proofing, which
Yeah.
is what
Yeah.
would have to be true that 10 years from today, your yields are going to be what?
Yeah.
Because we have a soil erosion, so less soil. We have, water. I mean, if you look at Northeast Colorado, the amount of water they get a year is less than 3 inches. I mean, it's so small and it's dry land. So how are you going to be able to get yields when you have so little fresh water? And last but not least is the same thing about GMOs. Because, like I said, GMOs have been the revolution. They fed us. They have taken us. It's a miracle. It's literally a miracle. But now that doesn't give unless you start experimenting on how to flip it so the yields stay up and we can provide and feed the world by 2050.
So
So that's
it
it's like
has diminishing returns, right? So
exactly. And you're gonna have to test something new. Milo, instead of just the same three things. And what other mixes can you do so you are learning about what's going to be future proofing, what's going to be good for that in 10 years. Think about just Manitoba in Canada, right? Their season used to be 53 days of for agriculture because it's cold up there,
yeah.
right? With weather change, all of a sudden it went to 59.
Mhm.
So now they're having more days from the last frost to the first frost, right? All of a sudden, can they do two crops instead of one in that amount of time? I don't know, but
Yeah.
that's what the modeling has to help you. And if you have the data for the weather forecasting to know when the last frost is, right? And to know when the first frost is, can you start experimenting about what would have to be true for the province of Manitoba to provide for more of their local farming? So it's all starts with knowing that you're going to have to change because you can't control climate change. You
Mhm.
can't. I don't
Mhm.
think you can. You can do some interesting stuff like agrivoltaics, right? You have solar panels and then you're planting under. Yeah, that's pretty amazing because you can increase the number of the planting season. Instead of May, you can actually start in March because the things are growing under solar panels, right? And then extend it till September, maybe October, maybe November.
Mhm.
So that is extending it this way. So the cool thing about this, Christine, is that we don't have the answers. We just don't. And that's why it's so rich for innovation in both ag and food, because there's bound to be a difficulty to keep eating beef. I don't know if you try to eat beef for July 4th. It's ridiculously expensive
Yeah.
because we have a limited number of beef in the US. We have, cows. We just closed cows coming from Mexico, so the supply is even smaller. So
Mhm.
what's going to happen to the price of beef? It's going to continue to go up
Yeah.
because it takes 3 years, not like chickens. And chickens, I can get a new crop every 26 to 42 days.
Mhm.
Takes 3 years with cows.
Nice.
So it's not, you can't change and start growing more cows. So that is gonna the only place you go is increase prices or import.
Well,
Where
that's where the status quo comes in because instead of just saying AI is here, everybody needs to use it, wrong approach. Here are problems that we have. Our current solutions are falling short. Here's a solution that actually can solve my real problem. And I think putting it in terms of solving problems and creating opportunities that are specific to the people that you're asking to, consider them is so important versus AI, AI, AI. Who cares about AI? What I care about is what's going to help me solve my problem. Now you're telling me AI can help me solve my problem. Now I'm going to want to listen. So there's another option that you've talked about that's important in this whole mix as we fix the data problem, the infrastructure problems, maybe even some of the adoption issues, because proof points and case studies that show results help, right? And that's indoor agriculture.
Mhm.
So I understand this is showing a lot of promise. Can you share what you see happening in this space?
Well, indoor ag is amazing in the sense that you can, instead of two or three from May to September, two or three crops, all of a sudden you can have up to 12 and leafy greens a year. So every month because it's inside. So there's no snow, so you can grow, it's not cold. You control, literally control everything. The issue that is control agriculture, indoor agriculture. You can control everything, and you use very few. If you automate, you can use very few employees, so you also lower your labor costs, right? But the problem is energy, because you have to keep it at 70 degrees. It depends on the crop. You have to keep it at temperature, so it's temperature control, and that costs money. And then if oil goes up, comes down, if everything is automated, you have the lights on 24/7. And so there that is another place where AI can help to do predictive and what are the yields that you need, how many crops, who you have to sell it, to where is the distances you're willing to send because there's cost and distribution, right? And there's waste. The moment you pick up a lettuce, tick, 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 tick. It's the counter because your shelf life goes down because you're putting it into, a distribution center system that is not controlled. Think about it. It's not controlled. It's not 100%. So all of that has to be put, and that's why big machine data learning can help us to say, okay, what is the optimization of the cost of electricity, labor, and inputs to what do we need? What are the yields we need to make this thing rock? That is a win for the companies like 80 Acres Farms, is a win for Walmart, is a win for Whole Foods, it's a win for us as consumers. That is what's going to make it magical. Think about food waste. And this is true. 45% of all leafy greens in the US are wasted. 45. Because of the majority that are
They
planted,
spoil.
right? It's coming from the valley in California and Glendale, Arizona. So the majority. So they have to transfer, miles and miles to get to our homes here in Colorado or to get to the East Coast.
Mm-hmm.
So you lose a lot on transit, a lot on transit. If you had more vertical farming enabled, and we already have some really good players like 80 Acres Farms, there's Calera used to be. There's a bunch of folks they're giving it. Oh, if we had more close to the distribution centers for the Walmarts of the world, close to the distribution centers for Whole Foods, etc., you could ship it and have less food waste because it's close. That's amazing. And
Yeah.
that's where AI can come and help us, is to provide us with the data models that enable a win for these entrepreneurs, a win for the retailers, but and also a win for consumers because we have food deserts. Here
Yeah.
in Colorado, we have a lot of food deserts where there are not supermarkets. And therefore, um, if we have food that can be fresher, we can have a better for you recipes instead of a consumer having to buy a 99 cents combo meal at a chicken place that it's bad for you because that's the it's fried and
Yeah.
it's not necessarily good for you. If we have more leafy greens that are affordable with or with qualities that are taste and better shelf life, and that we can teach consumers to do more, to use more of those products, because also many
Yeah.
consumers don't know what to do.
Yeah.
So it's all that has to come together to improve the outcomes. And again, we're trying to improve the health span of these consumers. Not only the lifespan, but their health span.
Which is so important. And you were kind enough to give me a tour of Spur, and I got to see all three of the buildings, land, water, animals. Amazing to see some of the innovations there. I mean, I remember seeing the different UV or different lighting systems that might be on trucks transporting food to expand their lifespan so they don't spoil as much. I remember seeing rooftop gardens where can we plant crops during the warm season with a lot less soil so it's not too heavy on the roofs. So many cool things that you showed me. And so what I'm thinking about as you're talking is how about for people who are saying, okay, I don't know where my job is going, but I really want to embrace AI. Maybe I'm looking to redefine my current job or even move to a new industry. Sounds like a lot of interesting things, are happening where I might be able to make an impact back to the purpose. What am I doing with my career and what does it mean? So, what types of skills and mindsets do you see the agriculture industry looking for? And I know as part of Spur, you all invite companies in their incubation or startup stage that have business models they're trying to develop, and in combination with what they can access at the university and the other stakeholders at the university draws. So, what do you guys see in terms of new technology solutions, startups, and things that maybe people could get excited about thinking about joining with their own career?
Well, I think you have to be curious,
Mm-hmm.
Christine. You have to be curious. And you have to be able to look at a problem and say, why not? Why cannot we fix it? Let's take the Bahamas. This is an example. In the Bahamas, the largest crop is coconuts. And because the soil, going back to the limitation of soil, they import almost 99% of all the food products into the Bahamas. So we're talking a lot, right?
Mm-hmm.
So food safety is an issue because is there a hurricane or something breaks down or all of a sudden they cut the ability to import from Miami, they're in trouble, right? That will be so it compels the government of Bahamas to do innovation. What what at CSU we looked at is what do they have? And think about it. They have coconuts,
Mm-hmm.
right? And but after you eat the coconut, there's a coconut husk. So there isn't something that is going to be thrown away. And you could see the piles of coconuts on it. I'm from Puerto Rico. I can tell you, I there are piles of coconuts pretty much everywhere that people just eat it and throw them away. And the cool thing is that is a great environment to grow things, and that CSU, Dr. Jake is actually growing and doing pilots of growing things on coconut husks.
Wow.
And and the cool because there's no soil, right? So there's
Yeah.
no you can actually grow it in the Bahamas. That's one. Second, uh, they have a lot of fish, right? And aquaponics is another place that we're studying. So we feed the fish. I don't, but Dr. Jake does. Feed the
People feed
fish.
the fish.
People fish twice a day. You filter the fish do what they do. You filter that, and that becomes the fertilizer for these vertical farms that are grown on coconut husks. So that's a win to a win to a win because you're saying you're using everything at your disposal to minimize or increase your food safety and minimize imports. That if those pilots go well and that happens correctly, then that is the kind of curiosity AI can help because you want to predict when you need the crop, right? To minimize the food waste. You want to predict what inputs you need, how much you need to feed the fish because that's going to vary. Right now, we don't know what's the yield improvements if we change the pellets that we feed this
Interesting.
their koi right now. Does that change or not? So that's all AI can help us model ways to increase the yields for vertical farming in places like the Bahamas where soil is not helping.
And you
They
need
make in
people to train the AI who have the experience, who have the curiosity. So that's the importance of the human element in this, right? Is that AI needs to be led and trained, not just, it's not a set it and forget it. So there's lots of opportunity for people looking to actually really feel like they're making an impact in the world. And
and you
yeah,
would. I mean,
yeah,
that's the cool thing is because
yeah,
you can actually feed the world. You
yeah.
can change
That's cool.
the model and saying forward, look, remember, forward thinking, future proofing, it's scary today. I want to change that to not scary. That's the bottom.
Well, let's take this to a more personal level. So you've said that AI is essentially a bridge to broader economic participation. It provides flexibility and capabilities to those who need it, and you know of where you speak. Can you share what you mean by that? And if you don't mind, the story of how your daughter benefits directly.
Well, a daughter is has dyslexia, and and we discovered that really late in high school. So she is amazing. but she was able to graduate from high school, then graduate from University of Colorado Boulder. She is in marketing. But what has improved her,
Following in her dad's footsteps.
I know, what has improved her lives is actually she can use AI, Copilot, or Chat GPT, whatever, to actually create a bunch of scenarios for her work and to make it makes her significantly more productive, and therefore she can be a valuable part of any team, and 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 that's what AI can help. It's like if you use it for good, you can actually get more people to participate in the economy. People that are senior citizens, why not? People that are that only speak Spanish, or people only they don't speak English. All of a sudden, by using AI to take away a lot of the obstacles for people to participate in the economy is why my daughter has demonstrated. And I'm telling you, AI can be used for good.
Yeah.
And what I want is to lead the machines so we can feed the world by 2050.
I love it. And I love that, it's just nice to know, how people can really benefit in specific ways. So if we think about leadership and we think about why not, which is one of the good questions you keep asking today. We're very accustomed to, and it's our job as leaders to impart our experience, our wisdom on the next generation. Very important mentorship, right? And that's part of what we should be motivated to wake up every day and do. However, in this age of I think most of us would admit that, the younger generations can be more adept at like picking this stuff up, how to use it, what the implications are, what the possibilities are. So, from your perspective, what do you see in terms of the younger workers today training us, let's say, just more seasoned execs?
Well, strongly believe in reverse mentorship. And this is, when social media started, I didn't know TikTok from a hole in the wall. So I went to a very young person on my team, and I would ask him, it's like, teach me.
Hmm.
And I don't know because I don't know TikTok and I don't know how it works. And I didn't get it. I have to say, Snapchat, I didn't get it either.
Hmm.
But then it became such a powerful place to communicate, a powerful place to launch products, such a powerful place to use that you needed to know. And I think AI is the same. We need to find young, very immersed AI practitioners that can teach you how to do norms, how to use and train your chat GPT, how to train it for good, how to make sure that when they scrub, they don't scrub the wrong things. Because garbage in, garbage out, that's it, that's giggle effect happens. So we have I personally is a need a reverse mentor in AI to make sure that I don't make mistakes because otherwise I will. And it's okay. You can learn from mistakes, but there's some critical mistakes that you want to stay away. You want to learn and make some mistakes. But in mountain biking, I'm a mountain biker, so he says that when you're not falling, you're not going fast enough, right? So, but you don't want to kill yourself. That's you want to go fast, but you cannot kill yourself because then you break a bone or whatever. So that's the point is how do we learn to go fast? By learning from people that are deeply more immersed and more native. Because I have to admit,
We're digital
they've been
immigrants.
dealing
We
with
are
it.
digital immigrants.
They are dealing with it. They've been dealing with it for half their lives. Think about it.
Yeah,
Yeah. So, when you think about it, for a 20-year-old, they've been dealing with it for half their life.
yeah. I mean, and I think maybe the lesson just for today's leaders is reach that place. I mean, be humble. I think it actually inspires your employees to want to work for you when you admit what you don't know, just as much as when you share what you have learned. So I actually think it creates great team culture, buy-in, a willingness to roll up the sleeves and work together, solve hard problems, think more critically, more comprehensively to see the whole picture. So I think it's a great piece of advice that
No,
us leaders
and
today
that's
should take.
proven for me that it works. It's like I do. And the good news is I can always say, teach me.
Yeah, teach me.
That's
Ah. And you learn something cool.
Yeah,
And you have cool stories to share at, the next cocktail party about what your employees taught you. It's all
yeah,
good stuff.
yeah, yeah.
And you got to do, speeches at conferences. You need something new to talk about. So talk about that. Um, so we've talked a lot about the benefits of what AI can do, what the problems are, the big problems and opportunities to solve in agriculture and CPG. And, just like what our just the conversation we were just having, critical that we look at both the pros and cons of AI at work and how it assists us in our jobs. And where do you see the pitfalls of how we keep the human in our work and don't over rely on AI maybe to do some thinking for us when it's good if we do it ourselves?
Well, I think every idea
Mhm.
has an adventure, right? Every idea. And AI is another idea, right? It's just an adventure. And it can go sideways if we just become lazy and we just prompt for prompting or do searches and now searches are going to be for AI agents, right? And
Mhm.
or for Google search. Which one is different? Do if we just let the machine do it, the machine's gonna pick whatever is easier for the machine,
Mhm.
correct? Because it's learning and trying to do it quicker and it's trying to do optimizer, right? So we're gonna have to be very vigilant and not falling into the lazy curve that I call, which is just ask ChatGPT. If you do that, you're bound to make mistakes and you're bound to get yourself into places that you can't get out. And that's going back to the mountain biking effect. Is like if you're going way too fast beyond and then you break a leg, then that's on you. So you need to have what's the safety zone that you need to create to make sure that you can enable AI to grow and to learn and to help you with new product development because it will. And it's already doing it. And it's shortcutting the time it took you to develop a new formula because it learns and it can bring it to you so quickly. It's like, hey, we already tried that. So don't waste your time there. But then you have to have the diligence to say the safety zone is, wait a minute, if you eliminate mayonnaise as part of an ingredient, for example, what else are you sacrificing? So it has to be, you have to create an environment where you can actually go back to AI and challenge the outcomes that the system brought you to, and so make sure that you stay fresh, because otherwise you're just become a yes ma'am or yes sir person, and I don't think that's what we're in this to do. And I think that's what lead the machine, which is what you are trying to stipulate, is what we have to do. Because every idea has an adventure, and this is the AI is an adventure. You have to enable yourself to create, what's in your backpack that you're in that adventure and you don't get lost or break a leg. And if you do, how can you recuperate? Because AI can actually help you to get back on the horse a lot quicker. That's the cool thing. Because you
Yes.
don't lose it all that you try. So that's my motto, perhaps, is like, how do we lean into and get as much as we can of this incredible, powerful enabler, but don't lose ourselves in the process.
Well, I just want to thank you so much as we kind of wrap here for your time, for your candor in terms of what it takes to be able to live a life on purpose and a career on purpose and pivot when you need to and be honest about what you're involved in today and whether it's what you want to be involved or the way you want to be involved, tomorrow. And just to bring a lot of ideas that people might not be thinking about in terms of this massive part of our lives. We all eat every day. And so figuring out how to be a part of the solutions in agriculture and the food industry at writ large, is so important. And it's just cool to see that there's so much going on, and there's a lot of opportunity for people to decide to raise their hand and jump in. So
And
thank you
there's
for
more.
that. It's more
Thank you,
coming.
Christine. That's my point is there's going to be more. There's going to be, how satellites can help us predict when to plant, how and that's already happening. How drones are going to help us localize, like nano localize, where to fertilize versus where not to fertilize, where to use herbicides are not necessarily good for us, but now we're spreading whole fields with herbicide. What if a drone can tell us just here, this is where the
Mhm.
weeds are? Does that make sense?
It
And that's the
does.
cool thing.
Yeah, there's so much cool. So, are there any parting thoughts that you wanted to share before we wrap up this episode?
No, Christine, I want to thank you for inviting me. I hope you know that I'm very passionate about it.
It didn't come through at all.
No, but it's because it's real.
Yeah.
Because I've been long enough in this place to understand that I can be part of the solution, and I was part of the problem.
Mhm.
And now I can be part of the solution, and I want to pay it forward. So
Yeah.
this is the cool thing, and all of us eat.
Yeah.
Maybe the AI machines don't, but
Yeah.
all of us eat. So it's a win-win-win when we can improve the skills of the agents that are going to feed us by 2050.
Thank you so much. And thanks to everyone who spent the time to listen to this important conversation today. As I say always, this is meant to be a dialogue. We want to hear from you. Please comment on what this brought up for you today, what your thoughts and feedback and considerations are that you want to share with the Lead the Machine community. So please continue to do that, and we'll all be enriched when we're all sharing our ideas together. So thanks again, Laston, and goodbye to everyone. See you next time.
Take care.